Peace, family. This is Dr. Sadiki Baye coming to you once again as usual every Saturday on time, to share with you what I've been blessed with by our Creator in honor of our ancestors, our glorious ancestors, the ones who were here, the ones who were given the blueprint of life to give us some meaning, some direction, and some purpose. So anytime you need some assistance, call on the ancestors. They will be there for you. And let's give them a reason to be there for us by doing the right thing, by being sincere. Now, again, I would love for you to go on YouTube and check out my channel, YouTube channel, and push like and subscribe. And every Saturday will notify you that another subject is ready to be viewed. So we got a deep subject for today, and pass it on. The deep subject today is on courage. Courage. I like to talk about subjects that are essential to us as a people and not just talking a bunch of nonsense, just talking about it's not nonsense, but nonsense or just talking about just history and so forth, but something that we can use personally to transform our minds into our godhood. So I'm going to do all I can to motivate, inspire, and encourage you to do that. And you take it and take it to another level because all of us have something to offer. So let's show more love and with respect for ourselves and one another than ever before. Now, courage, man, I just love, these acts of courage. Everything I bring is an act that you can put in motion to elevate yourself. So courage doesn't necessarily mean an absence of fear. And I will show you that or share that with you as we go along. Now, let's keep in mind, family, that we as a people, how can we avoid violence when you are always the target? Ask yourself that. How can you avoid violence when you are always the target? That's something that we need to really internalize because we are always the target. Ever since these other people came down from those caves, we were their targets because they knew that we are God's. We are the original people. We're God's chosen people. God blessed us with everything. And these people didn't have anything. So they devised a strategy to do us in. And it's still going on 500 years later. It's a wonder any of us can think. But guess what? There'll always be remnants. So let's stand up and be the man and the woman that we really are and to bring out our godhood. So courage, what is courage? Courage is doing something when you fear, when you're having fear, or when you're frightful of something. Doing something when you are fearful or frightened or scared or having the strength in the face of pain and grief. But the true meaning of courage is to have strength, or the true meaning of courage is mental strength. It's mental and moral strength to venture, to preserve, to withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. Wow. You got to have it going to have that kind of courage to withstand danger, to withstand fear, to withstand difficulty. It's a mental and moral strength. This is not something that you just say. This is something that you do. So some examples of courage is number one, doing something that you are fearful of, or doing something that is a little risky. Also, standing up for someone who is being picked on. Also, being there or helping out a person who is in need, even if it causes you to be a little bit in danger. That's what you call courage. Courage means to go over and beyond the call of duty, or to do what you need to do to qualify yourself to be a courageous person. And again, it's doing something that might be a little risky, or helping someone who is being picked on, or standing up for someone who's in need, even if it puts you in a little bit of danger. That's courage. Now, let me give you some, let me bring courage, or we need to bring courage to every facet of our lives. And how can you do that? Well, you have to understand that it is required of you to come out of your comfort zone for a cause, for a value, for a belief, or for a person that you really care for. You have to be willing to come out of your comfort zone to bring courage to every facet of your life. Just be courage. Don't pick and choose. Just be. Family, these things are very important, because we have a lot of people who are presenting how cowardice they can be. So the opposite of courage is being a coward. And we have too many cowards. God can use cowards. God can use sickly people who's stumbling all over the place with no balance. Sometimey people. So we have to be balanced, family, in order to maintain that courage. And it must be in every facet of our lives, not some areas, but in all areas. But in order to do that, you have to represent courage. You have to just be, and never pick and choose. So family, some ways to show courage at all times is number one, face difficulties head on. That means life's challenges. As long as you're alive, the struggle goes on. So face those difficulties head on and let them know that now a child of God is here. Now someone who's honoring and representing the ancestors are here. That's the first one. The second one is stand up against the status quo. Sometimes you got to go over and beyond, or go against the grain. Number three, stand up for what you believe, your values, your beliefs, the things that are very important to you. Number four, don't be so prideful to ask for help, because everybody needs somebody. No man is an island. We have to be like the beehive. You mess with one, you got to deal with all of us. Nationalistic, community, family oriented, team players. See, so let's ask either your brother or your sister for assistance. There's nothing wrong with that. And the fifth one is to do the right thing. And what I mean by that is do the right thing, even though doing the wrong thing can be the easy way out. Uh-oh. We have a whole lot of people who taking the easy way out. One thing about a child of God, they always follow the process, whatever is needed and whatever is necessary. They never look for easy ways out. They do what they have to do to create the results that is desired. So ain't no cowardice in a person who got courage. Again, again, ways to show courage at all times is to face difficulties head on. Sometimes you have to challenge the status quo. Also, you have to stand for what you believe, your values. Stand up for those values and those beliefs, those things that are important to you. Always ask for help if you need it. It's another one. And the last one is do the right thing, even though doing the wrong thing can be the easy way out. Family, we must man up. We must woman up. So why is it important to have courage? Why is it so important to have courage? Because courage gives you the ability to put your fears to the side. It gives you the ability to put your fears to the side. Also, it allows you to attempt to do the things that you never did before. Yeah, it causes you to attempt those things, even if it makes you look a little foolish. But the key is to start. Don't be overly concerned of how it makes you look as long as you're doing the right thing. We must overcome our fears, family. We must overcome those fears. The sooner the better. We have too many people that are weak, that are scared. Oh, don't rock the boat. You got that right. Let's not rock the boat. Let's turn that boat over. Sometimes you got to turn the boat over. Because if you're already in the water and the enemy is in the boat, sometimes we got to turn that boat over. Yes, we have to have the courage to do what we need to do to practice the Sankofa principle of going back and get it and bring it up and validate it. We left too much stuff behind when we integrated. Somebody had 400 or 500 years jump on you and they say, okay, we equal. How can you ever win if they got 400 or 500 years jump on you? We must stop playing the enemy's games and develop our own game of life, of righteousness, or the things that are for the eagles and not the chickens. Chickens got all these wings, as I always say, and can't even fly. So what good is the wings? Think about it. This is wisdom here, family, that I'm sharing with you. Take it in your own mind and throw it around a little bit. Think about it. Don't just reject things because one of your people are giving you some deep things to think about or to consider. Some of us got some people have some answers, and some of us have some serious answers. So let us not take each other for granted, because we are the first thinkers. We are the ones that gave meaning to everything that exists. Why? Because our Creator gave us the ability to name everything that was created. In other words, it ain't nothing until we call it. So be careful what you call things. Always think positive. Always think righteously. So, family, there are some benefits of courage. What are the benefits in courage? The benefits that comes to mind is it gives you the power. Whoo! Power to chase after the things that are important to you. It gives you that kind of power. When you get to that level of courage, it gives you the power to chase after the things that are very important to you. It also gives you bolster. It allows you to believe in your abilities by overcoming fear of rejection. You know, it causes you to overcome your fears of rejection. Because a lot of us go along with things just not to be rejected, even though you might be already rejected. But don't be overly concerned about that, because everything is personal. Courage is personal. So it allows you to overcome the fears of rejection. It also gives you the ability to put aside your fears. To put aside your fears. And also, family, also it allows you to attempt to do the things that you've never done before. It causes you to start believing in your abilities. That's deep. I just love these to entertain the things that are necessary for us to elevate. And courage is a deep, deep thing there, and it's very personal. We have to get into those things instead of all of this education in these buildings of somebody else's education. It's not real education. Real education is to know who God is. It's to know who you are and to know whose you are or who you belong to. That's the true education. All that other stuff is secondary. And we brag about, oh, I'm laude cum laude and I'm magnum cum laude, or I'm a straight A student, or I'm a this and that. No, it just tells me that you're excellent in following instructions from the enemy, trying to measure up to their standards. It is what it is. I got all kinds of degrees. I can say that. I understand both sides of the fence. Life skills, which comes from our ancestors, and education in this system. I know both sides. That's why I have all kind of degrees. And the top one, which is a doctorate degree. So some of us understand what's really going on and what has been going on. So we must overcome our ignorance. We must follow the process of knowing who you are, whose you are. But first you got to know who God is. Because if you know who God is, all that other stuff will come. And then you can say for real that I'm a child of God and truly mean it. Thank you, family, for giving me the opportunity to share these things with you. And prayerfully, you will take them and study them and take it to another level. Because there's no better feeling than your self-efforts of self-progress and what we call transformation. All of that is personal. Change is personal. Growing is personal. Adjusting is personal. Moving is personal. Metamorphosing is personal. And we have to find a way to satisfy those things. So now you can say, I'm truly a child of God. Because one thing about a child of God, you can never catch them off guard. Remember that. When you are truly a child of God, no one can ever catch you off guard, because God will always warn you before it even happens. So you're always ahead of the game. Keep that in mind, family. Keep that in mind. So what does the Bible say? The Bible says, or all the other religious books, what does it say? Be of good courage. So what is courage again? Mental and moral strength. To venture. To preserve. To withstand danger, fear, and difficulty. Remember that. Don't let them school you. Don't let them fool you. Because they want you to be all weak and falling all over the place. Everybody makes mistakes. That's part of learning. But the key is, what did you get out of your mistake? Stop hitting your head against the wall, blaming the wall. Get your head out the way. No one can whip your ass if your ass is not there. But they say, get your ass out the way. And clean your up. Really, family? I'm real. I'm representing the ancestors. You know, when they were here, they did not play. They gave you raw food for thought. They gave you raw information. I'm representing and honor them. And I know some of the things that I say is not so simple to embrace, but don't be so quick to reject it. Check it out. And you'll find that what I'm sharing with you is true. But there's always more to it. So take it to another level. Do yourself a favor. Again, these holy books said, be of good courage. And it also says, do not let your hand be weak. Woo! Have mercy. Do not allow your hands to be weak. And so, what am I saying for that? What am I saying? In other words, let your work be a sign that you are strong. Because if your hands are weak, you don't get anything but weak results. When your hands are strong, then you are very much rewarded. In other words, you're blessed through your efforts. Be of good courage and never allow your hands to be weak. I don't care how smart you are, you should always be able to use your hands. That's balance. Mental, physical will take you to the spiritual. Believe that. So family, a courageous person, listen to this very carefully. A courageous person faces danger. He or she faces danger or stand up for their values, for their causes, and for their beliefs. Even if it causes them to be in a little danger. And once you get to that level, family, and you qualify yourself to be a courageous person, then you can be called the man or the woman without fear. The man or woman without fear. When you face danger. Wow. Or stand up for your causes. Stand up for your values. Stand up for your beliefs. Then you can be put in the category of a man or woman without fear. We should be shooting for that. That should be our goal. Think about that, family. Some of us are born with courage. And some of us have to learn and build courage as we go along in life. But guess what? No matter how much courage that you have, there's always more to get. So what's better than better? Better. There's always room for improvement. But when you're at your best, you're at your end. And that's why they say sometimes your best is not good enough. So what should you do? Do better. Family, when you believe in our ancestors, when you believe in our Creator and our ancestors, you will not fear anything. You will not fear anyone. You will not fear or be dismayed. Trust me. I just want to motivate, inspire, and encourage you, family. These are some serious topics that I'll be speaking of. These are some deep diving topics. These are some deep rooted topics. And we need to become deep again. We are too surface. In conclusion, family, I'd like to say this to you. Courage is the most important virtue. Let me say that again. Courage is the most important virtue. Why? Because if you don't have courage, there's no way you can address any other virtue. So let's be a man or a woman of courage. Remember that. So let us not be weary. Let us not be weary doing good. Because you always bless through your efforts. Never be weary when you're doing good. It might seem like nothing is going on, but we have to be patient and wait on the laws of the universe to bless us. So let's keep it moving, family, because you're blessed through your efforts. Let's be a man or a woman of courage. And remember, courage does not mean an absence of fear, because can you overcome your fears? Can you do something while fear is facing you? Can you do that? Can you have strength in the face of pain and grief? Let us understand that the true meaning of courage is the mental and moral strength to venture, to preserve, or to withstand danger, fear, and difficulty. Family, I just want to thank you for your time to listen to what I have to share with you, and prayerfully you'll take it and go to another level with it. This is what I have been blessed with, and I pray that I've blessed you with it. Family, I love you. I bless you, and I want you to prosper. Do your best and let God do the rest. You got to know when to hold and know when to fold. Continue to stay strong and keep your faith where it belongs. Always remember also to keep your head towards the universe where all strength comes from, and never give up and never, ever, ever, ever give in, no matter how things seem as emotions, because everything is, always was, and always will be in divine order. God don't make no mistakes, but we do. But when you learn from your mistakes, it's all good. So keep on growing and keep on learning. You can't go wrong. And learning can be painful. We got in this mess painfully, so we got to come out, because you can't beat the blessings. Holistic way of life is right thinking, right giving, and right eating. That's holistic. That's the pyramid with God in the center, the eye of God. Family, always remember that death cannot promote life. So why put a dead animal in your stomach pretending that it gives you protein? When something is dead, rigor sets in immediately. What is rigor? Rot, decay. So how can it promote life? That was our survival food when we was in the wilderness in slavery. But when you come out, let's show an appreciation to our Creator and our ancestors, by transforming back to our natural ways. Let the food from the tree be your meat, and let the herbs from the fields be the healing of the nation. Let us not turn our backs on our forefathers and curse ourselves by being disobedient and rebellious. Let's bring out our godhood and be blessed. With that in mind, family, happy new journey, happy new life, happy new you. Baraka, Hotep, and peace. See you next time, family. Bless yourself through your efforts. Love with respect. Dr. Sadiki Baye, your servant.